Okay, Prasad, I
Yeah.
think we have enough people to start.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So I'll start off by introducing our guest and me, myself, and the user group. So
Sure.
to start off, good evening, everyone. Welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Bakal Takasta, and I'm the co-leader of the SolidWorks user group in Addis Ababa, along with my colleague, Johannes Daraje. And it's a pleasure to host our first guest for our first user group meeting. And we are joined by a very special guest, a globally recognized figure in the SolidWorks community. He is the 201st certified SolidWorks expert in the International Champions community, recipient of the 2023 Wayne Tiffany User Group Leader of the Year Award, and the founder of Bangalore SolidWorks User Group, one of the most impactful user communities in India. He has empowered thousands of students and professionals through hands-on training and free certifications of SolidWorks and supports from underrepresented groups in tech, currently working as design engineer at Alexis. And today he is here with us to share a highly valuable session titled Solid Tips and Tricks for SolidWorks and SolidWorkers, a practical real-world insight that will level up your design workflow. And uh, thank you for replying for our request, Engineer Prasad. I think you can have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bekalo. It's really great to be here. Presenting to user group is always fun, and thank you very much for a wonderful. Uh, I'm forgetting the word now, but thank you very much, Bekalo. And let's jump right onto this session without further ado. I'll just share my screen. Just let me know when you guys can see the screen.
You can see the SolidWorks connected.
Okay. You can see the presentation as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first ever meeting of Addis Ababa SolidWorkers group meeting. I'm Prasad. Like I already introduced myself, so I think I can skip all this who am I introduction. But anyways, I'm Prasad Ariga, a SolidWorks design engineer, and let's get to the first tip of the session. That's mouse gestures. For beginners, I think mouse gestures and keyboard settings are much more important than you can think of because a lot of times what happens is whenever we run a model, any model, I'll just take a simple example. Whenever we are in these kind of examples, when you're a beginner, what you tend to do is you always tend to go to all these features, or if you don't know anything, you'll try to find the features here. So it's really time consuming. And when you're taking CSWA or CSWP exam, time is of the essence, and then you don't have enough time to search for the tools. So how to find these settings, mouse gestures or keyboard settings is you can see these options here. Either it's here or it's over here. So all you have to do is just click on settings and then, I'm so sorry, not settings, my bad. So you just have to right click over the tabs region and then you can see this customize tool. So in customize bar, you can see keyboard, menu, commands, all the toolbar and shortcuts you can customize over here. So coming to mouse gestures, this is one of the important, I'd say not most, but very important shortcut. So you can see there are multiple gestures you can customize, and at the moment I have 12. So as you can see here for parts, sketch, assembly, and drawing, it's all completely different. So you can customize all these shortcuts for your uh, you know for your tools. And let's say you have to add a particular different type of shortcut over to your mouse gestures. What to do is you can just search for the uh, feature over search bar, and then you can just drag and drop it over here. So as you can see here, now it's set to extrude for the part. How do you access this mouse gestures? It's very simple. Just right click and drag. That's it. You can find all the customization over here. Right click and drag. For part, it's different. For assembly, it's different. For drawings, it's different. For sketching, it's different. Let me just show that. So if I go to sketch and I hold the right click and then drag, as you can see here, it's completely different. So make use of this mouse gestures for simplifying your workflow. The next is keyboard setting. Okay. Again, I forgot to mention one more thing. So in customization bar, there is one more shortcut, that's keyboards. So in keyboards, you can use hotkeys for particular commands. As you can see, I have already set a few hotkeys. You can also do this. See, commands with keyboard shortcuts. I have a few keyboard shortcuts like for R for recent browser. I will tell you all in the coming slides. Trim line, so that you can easily design something without having to search for the tool. Next is repeat last command. So let's say I'll extrude, I'll just sketch a circle over here and then I'll exit. But I want the circle again. What happens is you'll go to again to circle and then take the circle again and draw. There is one keyboard shortcut for it. That's nothing but just click enter. It will take you to the old command. As you can see here, I'll just escape this. My mouse is not over here. My mouse is over here. But I want to go back to the previous shortcut, previous tool that I used. I'll just press enter and circle command appears. And it's not just in sketch. I'll extrude this circle now. And I'll only choose one of the circle instead of two. And then I'll realize, okay, I need the extrude command again for another circle, right? Again, I'll have to go to the extrude command. If I don't have mouse gestures, I'll have to search. If it's not available here, let's say it's something like move face, and I will just go to move face here, and I'll offset it by 10 mm. Of course, if you don't know where move face is, it's going to be very difficult because you have to search over here and everywhere. So what you can do is you can just press enter. Okay, I think I clicked on something else. Yeah. If you click, my bad. So if you click enter again, the command will appear again. So you don't have to worry about searching for the previously used tools. So that's the second one, repeat last command. The third is the S key. I'm sure you saw this appear out of nowhere when I was doing this extrude, right? So that's nothing but the S key. S key is another shortcut using which you can access the simple tools, or you can customize this as well. Or you can also use search command to search for your tools at your mouse tip, literally at your mouse tip. So all you have to do is press S on your keyboard and this appears. Let's say you have to use extrude or cut extrude, fillet, hole, planes, or even rib. Or if you want to customize something, let's say I want to add move face here. So what I can do is I can just drag and drop this. Or if I don't want something, I can just go to the S command and then it's not letting me. Okay, anyways, you can go to the customization tool and then you can remove the particular command from here. So that's S key, and it's not just in here, it's available in sketches, assemblies, and drawings as well. As you can see here, the S command for sketch is completely different from S command for a part feature. So you can make use of this as command to simplify your workflow. You don't have to always go back to the toolbar to select a feature. If you're working over in this region, what you can do is just click S, and then let's say you want to extrude something. For example, this particular sketch, I can do it from my mouse tip, wherever my mouse tip is. The next is zoom to fit. Okay, this is not a common thing that most of you might do. For example, I have a cat mouse, so sometimes I'll zoom in too much or zoom out too much. So whenever you want to zoom back in, no matter how many times you scroll, you don't know where you are, or you don't know how the model is even looking at. So what you can do is, let's say I'm too zoomed out now, and I don't know where my model is. No matter how many times I zoom, I try to scroll again, I can't find my model. What you can do is you can just press F key on your keyboard, and the model will be fit to your screen. Well, no matter how zoomed out or zoomed in it is, all you have to do is just press F key on your keyboard, and model will be fit to your screen. These are all the keyboard shortcuts. It's all available in any SolidWorks. Once you download SolidWorks or install SolidWorks, it's available in your keyboard. You don't have to customize it, but you can customize as well. Like I showed how you can go to customize tool, and then you can customize your own keyboard shortcuts. R for recent files. So let's say you're working on something and then you have to open another file. What we'll do when you're a beginner, even I was doing this. What I used to do was I would go to file, open, and then click on the open, and then try to search for my folder over here. Even if I had previously opened it, I didn't know how to access it. The way to access all your previously opened SolidWorks file is just press R on your keyboard, and all your previously designed model or accessed models is available here. And one of the best part of this particular R shortcut is, so this is an assembly, and there are, as you can see here, there's an arrow mark which says, okay, drag more, just click on this to know more about it. As you can see here, you can either open it in normal mode or open it in only read-only mode, so that you cannot edit the model. And let's say you are working on some model, and then some other work will come, so you don't want to lose that model in this recently opened files. You see this pin mark over here. If you click that, this particular model will be pinned to your screen, as in your recently accessed file screen. So no matter which other model you open, this will always be pinned. Just like WhatsApp, how we pin our WhatsApp texts or groups, this is something similar to that. This particular model is now fixed. So I can click on it no matter which model I opened, or no matter how long ago I opened this model, I can always access this, and this will be always on the top. That's something special with this. And let's say you don't know where you saved all of the, let's say I don't know where I've saved this particular design. What I can do is I can just click on the show in folder. When I hover over around the model, there is also something called a show in folder. If I click on that, it will show me in which particular folder the model is saved. So this is the advantage of ARC shortcut, which is nothing but recent files. The next is purge unused features. Okay, this is something unique. For example, I'll take one of my models. And now I'm using the R command here. Okay, I'll take this. This was an old design, and I didn't know much about designing back then. So I used a lot of features like sketches, planes, which I never used in the model. As you can see here, there are many sketches here which I never used. And if not for this folder structure, my model tree would have looked very messy. Like there are multiple sketches, multiple planes, which I never used. And I don't want them at all, because it's just eating space, and also it's very messy. What you can do is you can remove all your unused features or sketches, anything in your SolidWorks with just one click. All you have to do is go to your, you see this model tree, the model tree menu, and right click. You can see purge unused features. Click on that, and it will show you all the unused features in your sketches, in your part file. What you can do is you can just click all of them, or you can just click whichever the ones you want. It will also show suppressed and unsuppressed features. So you don't have to worry about if you suppress a feature and never use it. It will show you all these things in this particular command. And uncheck all, or check all, or check whichever the ones you want. And once you click OK, it will say delete the following command, and then just click yes to all. It will not affect your model because it was never used. Even if it had some relations, it would still not delete it. But if it does not have any relation with any of the sketch, any other sketch or any other feature, it will just delete it. As you can see here now, I do not have a messy, you see, I mean, this is being used. How to know if your model is used, how to know if your sketch or plane is used in any of these features is very simple. Just right click on the same model tree menu, and then here there is this tree display. I'm sorry, not tree display. What is that? Yeah, here, as you can see here, there's dynamic reference visualization. Click on both parent and children. So what this does is, let's say I click on this sketch, it will show me which is the parent feature and which is the children feature. For this particular sketch, the parent feature is the loft, and the children feature is basically the planes, as you can see here. So if you delete this sketch, the parent feature will not be affected, but the children feature will be affected. For example, if for this particular sketch, the children feature is surface net. If I delete that, this surface net will be gone. And if I delete this surface net, okay, these two features will be gone. And if I take this revolve has one curve and body delete. Okay, I'll take something which is, okay, loft. Loft has a lot of children features, right? So if I delete this loft, my model will give a lot of error, and I have to take at least half an hour to resolve that. So make sure when you are starting SolidWorks, make sure you activate these two options so that you know which is your parent, which is your children. Next is define sketches. Yes, this was something that I used to forget all the time. So let me just create something. Okay, I'll just take front plane, and I want a square of size 50 by 60. So 50. And this will be 60. And I'll just extrude it, right? That's it. I got my 50 by 60, and then I'll extrude it for another 60 mm. That's it. Done. I have my rectangle. And yep, I have my rectangle. Everything is fine, right? But the sketch is not defined. How do you know a sketch is defined or not is very simple. If you look at the sketch in your feature manager feature tree, you can see a negative mark in a bracket. So that means your sketch is underdefined. How do you define a sketch? It's very simple. All you need to make sure is you can see blue lines over here. It just needs to be black. A black sketch means the sketch is defined. Now, when I exit this, I will not see that particular negative mark in the bracket. So if there is no negative symbol in the bracket, that means your sketch is completely defined. But let's say you have a lot of sketches. I'll just draw some more. And I'll draw some, like circles here. And I'll also draw a line, right? Now you have all these sketches and you want to, it's not always the case, but you want to define all these sketches in just one go. How do you do it? It's very simple. Just right click on anywhere in the screen, and then you can see this option called fully defined sketches. If you click on that and select a reference point, okay, it says entities to fully define all sketches. Relations, okay, it should give all the relations and dimensions and everything. And if you just click on calculate, okay, there are a lot of sketches, dimensions. Okay, now as you can see here, it's asking for a reference point. With respect to, okay, with what reference it should calculate the horizontal distance, and with what reference it should calculate the vertical distance. For me, the horizontal reference point is origin, and the vertical reference point is also origin. You can give any other point. You can also give, okay, I will give this particular point instead of the origin. And when you click OK, something happened. 1 minute. Fully define. And all entities in the sketch, baseline, yes. Above sketch. Okay, you can select however you want. Okay, done. Selected entities. For some reason, it's not taking. Now I selected all these entities. And when I click OK, all my sketches are defined. So I didn't do anything. It automatically assigned the dimensions, as in the diameter of the circle, and also the distance from origin for horizontal dimensions. And for vertical dimensions, it took this particular point. So that's how you can use the fully defined command to just fully define all your sketches in just one click. But don't use that unless and until you have only one sketch. You can, if you have multiple sketches, it's going to be messy, just like how it was. If you have only one sketch, it'll be very simple. And the next is the power trim. Okay, power trim is something which is very unique because most of us use just power trim to trim stuff, right? But let me show you how power trim is very helpful. I have a star here, and I'll also draw something like this. Okay, now I need the star, but I don't want the pentagon on the inside. I'll go to trim entities, I'll take power trim, and then I'll start trimming. But unfortunately, I'll also trim this line. But I don't want to trim that particular line because I want the star. So what I'll do is I'll go, if when I was a newcomer to SolidWorks, I would just hit Control Z, go to trim entities again, and then trim again very carefully like this. And if I trimmed again any of the other lines, I would go to Control Z again and then start trimming again. There is a simple way to do this. Let's say you're trimming like this and then you suddenly trim something that you shouldn't have. Do not let go of your mouse left key. What you do is you just go back. You see this red dot over here? All you have to do is do not let go of your mouse left key. Just go over the red dot and the line comes back. So you don't have to worry if you trim some unwanted stuff. All you have to go is all you have to do is just go back through the red dot again, and it will appear. And again, there is another red dot. That is the previously trimmed line. If you go through that again, the previously trimmed line appears. So you can just trim normally and then finish your trim. And let's say you trim this particular line. I just hit Control Z, I know. So let's say you trim this, but now you want this line to be here. You don't want these lines, so you'll trim the rest, but you want this line to be here. So generally what I used to do was I would either give a relation to this, but when I did that, yeah, this is what used to happen. It wouldn't properly give the relation because none of this is properly defined. So what I realized was there is something in power trim. If you click on the line and then just extend it till that particular line, till where you want it to extend, it will just extend automatically. See, now it's extended and there is no gap at all. So let me just show that again. Let's say I want to, okay. Let's say I want to trim this particular, extend this line. As you can see here, I can extend it. That orange line represents extend or trim. I can either trim it or I can extend it. And how to access this? Just click and then hold your mouse key and then start dragging. I can drag how much ever I want. So that's the power of power trim. You don't have to worry about forgetting to trim too much or forgetting to, trimming the whole thing or having to go back to your particular trimmed line again. So you can do all of this with power trim, as you can see here. So that's power trim. The next is, okay, A for arc. What is A for arc? So let's say you're sketching something, some line over here, and suddenly you want to shift to arc. And how would we do that? We would press escape, go to arc, either arc by center or 3-point arc, and then take a point over here and then start drawing the arc, right? So there is a simple shortcut to that as well. Let me go back to sketching line. And now you can see that I'm sketching line. While I'm sketching a line, now I need an arc over here. If you press A, it will take you to arc. Go back to the point, and type A. Okay, my bad. For some reason, it's not happening in. Did I change something? No. Yeah, my bad. Since I have this dimension thing, it's giving me something. Okay, let's say I'm drawing this line now, and you go to this particular point of origin, and then just type A, it will give you an arc. And once you're done, you go back to the normal line. And if you want arc again, come to this particular point. You see this when I press A, you see that arc thing coming up. Now arc is ready. So it's that simple. So that's A for arc. And command search, I've already shown you this. Let's say you forgot some command and you want to search for that command. What you can do is you can just press S. If you have SolidWorks connected, it's over here. No matter what SolidWorks you have, it's always available over here. As you can see here, this particular thing is search command. You can search for any command. Let's say I want copy body. If I just know the command, I can just search for it. If you don't know the name of the command, you cannot type something, give me something to extrude, because it's not Google. So you have to know the specific name of the command that you want. Only then you can search for it. Okay, the next is quick midplane. Quick midplane is very simple one. Okay, when I was a beginner, whenever I had to create a midplane, what I would do was I would go here, I would go to planes, select the face, select another face, and then I would create midplane. It would automatically give me the midplane. This is, yes, this is fast, but the faster way is just select, shift, hold, and then select the faces between which you want a midplane, and then just click on plane, and then you have your mid plane. You're good to go. You don't have to select the planes. You don't have to go to the reference plane first and then select all these things. It's a very simple one. It's not that big of a deal. And the next is feature manager filter. Okay, feature manager filter is something that I use whenever I'm designing, let's say, a project. I'll just open some recent. Okay, I'll take this example. This is a very big example. It has a lot of features. Okay, now it looks small, but I've folderized this particular thing so it looks clean. Anyways, let's say I want to, as you can see here, there are a lot of features in here which are not defined properly because it's not a parametric model. Okay, let's say I want to search for a particular, let's say you have renamed these features, and then I want to search for a boss extrude. I cannot search for all the boss extrude over here because it has a lot of boss extrude, fillets, cut, chamfer, and everything, right? What I can do is, you see this filter over here. If you click next to the filter button, it's a search bar. Now, I'll enter boss, that's it. All the boss extrude commands are filtered. Or let's say I'll enter cut. Cut. All the cut extrude commands are now in one place. You don't have to search for any other. You don't have to go through all these particular folders to see where your cut extrude is. It's very messy, right? To do that, like, okay, not here. Okay, this folder not here. This folder not here. It takes a lot of time. So let's say you have a very big design, and then you want to find all your commands, all your common feature commands in one place. All you have to do is just enter the name, and it'll appear here. Now, whatever the boss extrude that is there in this design, it just comes to me clean. I don't have to worry about searching for it. Now I know where boss extrude is, what boss extrude is. Now the next thing is folders to organize your design. Just what I just showed you now. So when you have some design, okay, this is a particular thing. All these features lead to only the stones that I've done across the design. So now what I've done is, for better organization, I have selected all those features and then put them into a folder. What this makes is, now let's say you have to make an edit, and if it was unorganized, it would be messy, and then you wouldn't know which particular feature is related to what. Organizing, making your features into a folder, what it does is it will help you to know what part or what design this particular features are doing. Now I know all these particular features is used to create this particular structure. Now, if I suppress it, everything will be suppressed. If I don't, I can easily continue the design. So this is what creating a folder does. Let's say when you want to create a design, just select all the features that you want to create in a folder, right click, and then you can see add to new folder. Just give some name. Let's say if this is relevant to the inside thing, I'll just give the name inside thing, and then all my features are put inside that particular folder. And if the folder shows negative mark in a bracket, that means something is not defined. Either it might be your feature or it might be a sketch, but most of the times it's definitely a sketch. So as you can see here, my sketches are not defined. So that's why my folder is also saying, okay, this features inside this particular folders are not defined. If it's a non-parametric model, you don't have to worry about it. But if it's a parametric model, you have to look into that, what the error is, or which sketch is missing dimensions, and then correct it. That's it. Okay, design binders. Design binders, whenever we want to design something, let's say they're given us a drawing or there's a reference thing, we always tend to design through that reference or particular drawing that they have given, right? But sometimes what happens is when you're sending the design, you will not attach the refer. Let's say you're designing something and then your friend who's sitting in another road or another college is also working on the same thing. So when you're sending him the file, you're not giving him the reference files or you're giving him the reference files separately. What you can do is you can attach your reference files into your part or assembly file itself. So this is a watch that I designed, but I took some references. Let me show you the references. So these are the references of the watch that I took to design this. It's just a reverse engineering project. And of course, when I want to send this particular assembly file to someone, I cannot send them all these reference files. It would be very, you know, uh, either they will not open it or they'll not look into it. So what you can do is there is something called as design binder in SolidWorks parts and assembly file. How to access it? Right click on the assembly feature manager menu, and then you can see uh, hidden tree items. Just hide or show tree items, and you can select design binder to unhide. Okay, where is design binder? Okay, make sure it is set to show all the time, not automatic. For me, it's not a big deal. But if you are working on SolidWorks and then you're still beginner, I would suggest you make sure you click to show. There are a few other things as well, like equations, materials which you want. I would suggest you make sure you set this option to show all the time. And once you change this option from hide or automatic to show, automatic means if that particular file has a design binder item, it will show. Otherwise, it will not show. So it is dependent on the part file. But if you do not have any design binder file, it will not show. So better make it show. And then once you have it, what you need to do is right click on the design binder, add an attachment. That's it. Search for your file, attach that particular file. No matter, even if you don't have that particular file, it will still open. For example, I have attached a few pictures over here. If I just double click on it, it will just show me the reference file. I don't even need to have this or have it downloaded in my system. I'll just show that. I'll just go here and then I'll delete all of these reference files, right? It's not here, but when I double click on the reference file, it will still show me the reference file. So the files in the design binder is not connected to your files in the system. So make sure whenever you're working with something, let's say you have a PDF file or a drawing file or even an image, just a reference image or a hand-drawn sketch, make sure you attach it to design binder whenever you're sending it to someone so that they can work on it, so that they don't have to search for other places. So that's the advantage of design binders. Dimension to tangency. Okay, this is, I'll go to part. I'll just sketch a random circle. Okay, let's say you have a model, and for example, I'll take this slot. And in my drawing, they have given the tangential dimension to the drawing, as in whole, like from this edge to this edge. But if I take normal dimension, smart dimension, if I select this circle and then select this circle, it will give me the center distance, not the tangential distance. How do you get the tangential distance? It's very simple. Just press shift in your keyboard and then select this circle, semicircle, and again select this another semicircle. It will give you the tangential dimension. So now I can play with it. I don't need to worry about the center circle, center dimensions. So creating a tangential dimension is very simple. All you need to do is just shift, hold shift in your keyboard while you're on your smart dimensions. Hold shift, select the circles or semicircles that you want, and then just proceed with it. But there's another catch. Now, this is the case for semicircles, but you have a pure circle, you have two circles, and they have given the distance from this point to this point. I'm sorry. They have given the distance from this particular point to this point. Now, how do I do it? It's very simple. Like, again, hold shift. I'm sorry, before holding shift, select smart dimensions, hold shift, select. You have to start from this side of the circle and again, and from this side. So when you do this, it will only take where your mouse cursor has been. It will not take the other reference. Let's say they have another dimension from this edge or this tangential side of the circle to this tangential side. All you have to do is select the dimensioning from that particular tangential side to the other particular tangential side. Now you can change however you want. And if they have given something like this particular side to this, again, you have to make sure you're selecting from that particular side again. So that's dimension to tangency. The next is arc dimension. Okay, this is something that I love using whenever I have the chance. So let's say you have an arc. Okay, there is an arc. But in the drawing, they have given the arc dimension. They have not given the radius of the arc. What is the they will not give you the radius, what radius of this arc is, or they will not even give you the particular dimension, what's the horizontal or what's the vertical distance. But instead, they will give you the arc dimension, the length of the arc. How do you do it? It's tricky, right? So again, it's not that tricky. All you have to do is go to smart dimension, hold shift, select the 2 points, and when you're holding shift, select the arc itself. See, now I have arc dimension. Now the length of this arc is 727 mm, and in the drawing, if they have given 600, that's it. My arc is now 600 mm. The radius might change, but with respect to your drawing, it will still be the same. Okay, I'll just give it a radius 150 mm. Now for 150 mm circle, the arc dimension of 600 will look like this. But for a 300 mm radius circle, the arc dimension of 600 mm will look like this. So again, to give arc dimension, all you have to do is select smart dimension, hold shift, select the 2 points, and then select the arc itself. Now you let go of this shift button and then you place wherever you want. That's how you provide arc dimension. Okay, the biarc. Okay, I was shocked when I got to know about this. Let me show you a perfect example. Okay, let's say I have a line, something like this. And if I need, in drawings, of course, you will see that there is some dimensioning like this. Okay, this is the vertical line, and the angle with respect to this line is something like this, right? So basically, you're creating another reference line so that you can give the angle to this particular line. So there's a better way to do that. So let's say I'll create another line from here and like this and like this. Now I need to know the angle of this particular line with respect to vertical line. I don't need to create another line. All you have to do is just go to smart dimension, select the line, and if you want to know the angle of this line with respect to vertical or horizontal line, all you have to do is just select this particular point and it will show you 4 directions. If you select any of these directions, it will give you the angle with respect to that particular direction. As you can see here, I have not created a separate construction line, but still it is giving me the dimension. I'll just show that again. So select the line that you want. Before that, I'll just trim this. Even if I trim this, it will still be there because this particular angle is not dependent on the horizontal line or any other vertical line. Select dimension, smart dimension, select the line of which you want to know the angle. Select the point. See here, I'm selecting the point. When you click on the point, it will give you 4 directions. Any direction you chose, it will give you the angle with respect to that particular direction. And the fun thing is, this particular thing is not dependent on anything. So if I move this, let's say I'll move it like this, and the angle will not disappear because it's dependent on the point of the particular line. So you don't have to worry about losing it again. See here, no matter how I move it, it will always show the angle. So that's the bayar. All you have to do is select the line, click on the point, and then select any of the 4 directions. Next is move face, which is something I already used. Okay. Let me open some file. Okay, I will take this particular model. Okay. Okay. Let's say this is a product, and now I'm done with the product. I don't want to make any changes, but then at the end, I'll realize this particular phase or this particular phase should have moved for another 5 mm. Now, if I go back to the feature tree and then change something, I have this fear that this will give an error to the entire model. So what I can do is I can just go to your search command and then select move face. Using this move face command, you can either offset, translate, or rotate your face or even the model. So I'll first show offset. So now I want to offset this particular face for another 5 mm. So now it's 5 mm. Now without having to change the extrude command, it is extended for 5 mm. Now let's say instead of that, I want to rotate a particular face or something. Let's say I want to rotate this particular face. Now, I know it's not that you have to use this all the time, but if in case you ever come across a situation where you have to move something or rotate a face, what you have to do is wait. Right. So let's say I have to rotate. I will select I need to select a face. With this face, I will it's showing translate, but I want to rotate it. So with respect to Z axis, I want to rotate it for some 10 degrees or something like that. Where is it? Okay, 10 degrees on the other direction, right? As you can see here, you can see the preview. When I click OK, this face is now being moved for 10 degrees. So it's not common for you to, when you're a beginner, it's not common, but when you progress in your designing career, you will come across some situations where you realize you have to move faces or even rotate your faces. And this is the command for you to use. Next is derived sketches. Okay, derived sketch. I just used it today when I was designing something. I'll just show it with an example. I was creating a design for something that I wanted to, for a product actually. So I'll take 100 by 100 square and now a cube for 100 mm. So now what I wanted to do was I wanted a complex surface. So it was not that complex, but I realized how to create it. So this is how I did it. I took these reference lines and then I went to tan 3-point arc, selected this, and then this arc had to be coincident with this midpoint. And I gave the coincident and I was done. But the thing was, after doing this, I had to do the same for all these circles. There are 5 more faces, but I hate to do sketches or repeated sketches. So what I did was, instead of creating, oh, okay, whatever the sketches that I wanted on this particular faces were same. I mean, as in the dimension of this arc was same in all of these faces. So instead of creating, going to this face and then sketching it again, what I did was selected the sketch and then I selected the plane on which I wanted the sketch. As you can see here, the sketch and the plane is now selected. I went to search bar and then I searched for insert derived sketch. Now what this did was it just copied the sketch and then put it onto the face that I selected. Right? As you can see here, there is now the sketch is now here. The best part of derived sketch is you can move however you want, wherever you want. I wanted it to be, since it ended here, my sketch should start like this. So even when you're in derived sketch, what you can do is you can still give it relations. As you can see here, now I gave the midpoint relation and then you can rotate it, right? I'll give this particular relation. Now it's defined, but I did not give any dimension, or I did not, I did not even coincide this with the midpoint, but still it gave a defined sketch. How is that possible, right? It's very simple. Your derived sketch will not ask for any dimensioning or anything. As you can see here, it will not ask. You cannot sketch anything else once you're in derived sketch mode. Now, this is my derived sketch. Because it is dependent on an original sketch, it will never ask me to draw something or do something. So it will always be depending on the original sketch. So let's say I'll go back to this and then I will remove this, the coincident relation, and I will give this a dimension of, it's 62 mm, I'll make it 60 mm, right? Now what happens is the derived sketch also changes. Let me show that. It was 62 mm, right? Now, as you can see here, it's not at the center. It's not in the midpoint. But when you click on Smart Dimension and then see the radius of this particular arc. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the radius is 60 mm, as you can see here. So if you use derived sketches, you don't have to worry about changing the dimension again from other sketches. If I had done independent sketches, I would have had to change the same dimension again for all these 5 other sketches. So you have to use derived sketches in places where the feature is gonna the sketch of the feature is gonna be dependent on a parent dimension. So that's derived sketches. The next is quick measure. As I just showed you the quick measure. Quick measure is nothing but, let's say you select something, and if I couldn't find anything, if let's say I want to know the distance between these 2 faces, what I would do is I would go to measure, and then I would click on 1 face and then 2 face and then see, okay, the distance is 100 mm. But the thing is, for simple measurements, it's already available at the bottom of, you see at the bottom of your window. So this says normal distance is 100 mm. That's what I want to know. Or if the radius of the circle is something that you wanted to know, you don't have to go to measure or even dimensions. You can just click on the particular arc, and then it will give you the radius. Or let's say I want to know the length of this particular line, it will give me the length. Or if I want to know the normal distance between this point to this point, I'm sorry, not the normal, the uh, straight line distance, it will give me the straight line distance. So for simple measurements, you don't have to go to measure tool or dimensioning tool. You can just see them over here. For example, I want to know the length between these 2 points is 141.4. If I click measure, it will again give me the same distance. That's the quick measure tool. Part reviewer. Okay, I don't want to go to part reviewer now because it'll be too soon. I forgot to hide that slide. Save bodies. Okay. Save bodies is something that you should know. You guys must know top down or bottom up assembly or approach of designing, right? So some will use bottom up, some will use top down. I tend to do both depending on what part I have. So let me just open something. So now I have done this design. I have done this part. It's actually an assembly, but I've done everything in just one part file. Even though it's an assembly, even though it has multiple solid bodies, it's all in just one place. But when I have to create drawing or create a bomb, I cannot create a bomb with this because this is just one part. I need an assembly for this. But I don't want to create all these parts again. So what do I do is I'll right click on the solid bodies here, and then there's an option called save bodies. And I will just click on that save bodies option, and then I'll make sure all these bodies are selected. And I'll give a if you have a location, you can either give a location, or if you don't, you can just leave it at that. And this is the location over at default templates anyway. Okay, this is just the normal template, and I'll just click OK. Now what this does is this particular feature uh, saves each body, each solid body in this particular part as a separate body so that I can do my assembly later. It just takes some time. I'm sorry. Yeah. As you can see, the template used for making that part has a different, okay, I'll just click yes. And yeah. As you can see here, this mirror 1, 9, all these features are nothing but the parts inside this 35 kg motor. Just give it some time and it'll be over. It's still saving. As you can see here, these are all components. These are all the components of the 35 kg motor. From the part, it's creating a separate file, part file, so that I can use it in assembly. Now it's done. It has created all these separate parts, and now I can go with the assembly. But the thing is, before I say that, now this is how you do save bodies. But I want to create an assembly as well, but I do not have an assembly, but I still want to create, I want this particular thing with all the multiple bodies to come in an assembly. How do I do it? It's very simple actually. All you need to do is just create a dummy assembly first. I'll just create a dummy assembly here. And I'll save it as 35 kg motor. Okay, I'll just save it over here in the same folder. Okay, I've saved this dummy assembly, and now I'll close this. I'll go back to the folder to delete all the, you know, things that I don't want. I'll delete this, and I'll delete all this. And next, what I'll do is I'll create a folder, new folder. Basically, I want all these parts and assembly to be saved there. Next, what I'll do is I'll again go to save bodies. Save bodies. Remember, I also want not just the bodies this time, but also the assembly with the bodies in their original position so that I can create a bomb. Now, select all the bodies. And in this create assembly, click on browse. And then now I will select a dummy assembly. As you can see here, this was the dummy assembly that I created. There was no part imported. There was nothing. It was just I opened assembly and then I saved it with the name. Save. Yep, I want to replace it. Now, when you click, okay, origin location is set, and part template is set, assembly template is set, and next what I'll do is I'll just click OK. Now, it will not only just create a separate solid bodies, but it will also create a proper assembly for me. You'll see that in just a moment. It's it's doing everything in the background, and once that is done, my laptop is very old, so that's why it's taking a lot of time. That's it.
You are doing great. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's done. Rebuild and save the document. And yeah, this is the part file. But let me open the assembly file. Where is that? I'll just close this. Do not save. Oh, wait. I'll open the assembly. As you can see here now, I have the same part in assembly mode, but with all the multiple bodies. But originally what happens when you import this model is this particular model will be imported as one body. But here, all these particular separately saved bodies are shown as separate bodies. So now I can go on ahead and then create a bomb for this. So that's how you save bodies and also create an assembly for your bomb and other things. So next is hide and show components. This is one of my favorites actually. I will take, okay, I'll take an example from the recently saved files. This was a cooler body that I had designed as one of my projects. This was for a client, but I can still use it. So as you can see here, there are sheets over here. These are all sheet metal sheets, and then everything is there. But unfortunately, there was nothing to design on the inside because the client had everything done. But let's say I had to design something on the inside. I I had to hide all these things first, right? What I would do is if when I was using SolidWorks, when I was new to SolidWorks, I would click on the part, hide it, click on this part, hide it, again go to this part, okay, hide this. I would do this all manually. The shortcut to hide or unhide body in your assembly is nothing but, let's say I want to hide this. Just take your mouse to that particular part and then press tab. It will just vanish. Not vanish as in it will just delete. It will just hide. Now, let's say I want to hide this particular sheet metal part. I'll just go over here. I will not select it, but I'll just make sure my mouse or the cursor is on top of that particular body, and then I'll press tab. And I can do that to any of these. All you need to do is to hide things in your assembly. You just need to hover your mouse over on top of that body and then press tab. Let's say I was done with all the modification that I was doing, and then I want to unhide all the borders. Again, it's very simple. All you need to do is, let's say this is where the original part was. Hover your mouse over that region, press Shift Tab, not just Tab, Shift Tab. As you can see here, if I hover around that same position and then press Shift Tab, all the hidden components will come back. I don't need to see. I don't need to see here which part was hidden, which was not. Everything just comes back. See, everything is now back. As you can see here, if this, okay, this is inside over here. What can we just go over to that position, Shift Tab. That's it. Now everything is unhidden. That's hide and show component. Next is copy with mates. Okay. So as you can see here, there are some boards that I've provided over here, but you can also see some spare spaces where there are no boards. How to give again, like either I would again go to toolbox, select the thing again, and then start providing, or I mean start dragging and dropping the bolts from toolbox to here, right? But since this is an imported component, I do not have that. What I'll do is, when I was a beginner, what I used to do was I would press Control and then click and drag that particular part which I wanted to copy. Let me just show that. Okay, I would do this. Press Control on your keyboard and click and drag the part you want to be copied, and it will create a copy. And then I would manually give all the mates again to this particular hole. So it was a very time-consuming thing. And after some time, I got to know about this tool, which was nothing but copy with mates. So it's available here. Okay, for some reason, I'm not able to see that. I'll just search for copy with mates. Now, what I want to do is I want to copy this, but I want this particular bolt to be in all these holes wherever the sheet metal is, right? So select the component first, which you want to copy. And I want to copy this particular component. Not only do I want to copy it, but I also want to copy the mates because it has a concentric and a coincident mate. I want to copy them as well. So now all I have to do is I've copied this particular component with its mate. Now I want to place that copied component in this particular region, and it has to be the coincident mate has to be aligned with this particular face. Now, once I'm done with it, I can do it for all these holes. Again, the same thing. I want the hole to be concentric with this particular hole, and the face should be coincident with this particular plane. That's it. Again, right click, go to the next hole, repeat the same thing. Concentric, the mate has to be concentric with this particular hole, and the face coincident is with this particular face. So you can do the same thing for all your holes. Now, as you can see, it did not take me much time to copy that particular component with mates and place them. Now this is just fixed. It's not moving or anything. It's not just a copy. It's copying with mates. So let's say you have multiple components. You want a particular nut or a bolt to be in multiple components. You can use this copy with mates command. I use copy with mates again over here. When you use copy with mates, it considers this part as a new part. As you can see here, all these nut bolts which I used here, it's a separate part. It's not just a mirror or it's not just a copy. It is actually a separate part, and it will show in your feature manager tree. And when you create a BOM, it will also show in the BOM that particular part, the quantity will be shown as 12 or whatever it is. Now there are 12 diffusers. So if I create a BOM for this, it will show 12 diffusers. It will not show one diffuser and then you copied the rest. So your BOM will be proper with this. Next is the G key. Okay. Now let's imagine this particular assembly had all the components that came with the cooling system inside it. And I had to look inside that particular system, inside this particular system through section view. What I would do is I would go here. I would again, I would create a section and I would do this and everything, right? So there's a better way to do that. Let's say I want to magnify and at the same time take a section. The G key would come into picture. As you can see here, G key is nothing but a magnifying glass. I can use the G key to magnify into only a certain, let's say, okay, now I'm in the fit view. Now, if I did not know about GQ, what I would do is I would zoom in, zoom out, do this and everything, right? If I do that, again, it will be very, I don't know how or where the model will be lost. So what I'll do is I'll press G key and then I'll make sure I'm only zooming into those regions where I want to. You can see here, I'm only zooming into this particular corner section because I want to know if everything is proper or not. But if I come back, come down a little bit, I want to see what's on the inside of this particular section. So what you can do is you can create a section view of this particular G view or the view that you have here. All you have to do is just press Alt and start scrolling. And now you can also see the section view at that particular section, wherever your magnifying glass is. See, now this is the section view of this particular this particular region. It's not I mean, yeah, graphically it's providing some section view on the top, but that's just a graphics error. Now, if I move this GQ wherever I want, it will show me the section view at that particular region. I'll move here. I'll again press Alt and then I'll start scrolling. And that's how you use the G key. Press G for only magnifying, but if you press Alt and scroll, it will give you the section view. That's the shortcut for G. That's what the G command does. That's nothing but magnifying key. Next is collapse all. Okay. Now, as you can see here, there are many parts. And since I've, click on the arrow button to see what's inside each part, it's a little messy, as in when if I have to select a particular part, I'll need to know where it is and everything, right? So you can collapse all these things with just one click. All you have to do is just press Shift C. Your feature manager will be clean. No matter how many folders you have, um, how many folders you have opened inside your feature manager tree, you can collapse them all in just one shortcut. That's nothing but Shift C. That's the shortcut for collapse all. It'll just collapse all the folder or all the part structure in your feature manager tree inside your part or assembly. And okay, that was it. That's the last step that was there in the slide. And thank you very much, everyone, uh, for giving me this time to present some shortcuts that I use and that I know which will help all of you. Even though you're a beginner or intermediate user or even an expert, these shortcuts will come in handy. And now it's time for questions. If you have any questions related to SolidWorks, this is your moment. Please feel free to ask.
Okay, everyone, if you have any questions, you can ask now. And thank you, Prasad, for the tips and tricks. I have a question in
Yeah.
referencing tools.
Okay.
And when I imported some tools for assembly from the tool section from SolidWorks, it only lets me to read-only option. And do you have any experience with making it editable? And
So you're asking if you import anything from Toolbox, it'll only be read-only, right?
yes, yes.
Okay. Actually, let me just show that. Let me share my screen. Toolbox, add new. Oh, wait, I already have the tool. Okay, I'm not sure if. Yeah, these are from Toolbox. So these are not just read-only. As you can see here, there are base, revolve, and everything. So if you open this part as in a separate part folder, you can actually edit these things. But there are mate references, but you don't have to worry about them. But let's say you need to change this somehow, you can edit them. This is not just a read-only part file anymore. And there are equations as well. As you can see here, there's sigma notation, which means it's equation dependent. So you can go to equation, manage equations, and then see. Okay, you can see that these are the equations, and then it's dependent on what it's depending on, and you can change them however you want. So I'll just make sure I'll remove this just to show you that it can be edited, and save this PC. And yep.
So the next time I reference
Yeah.
these parts, it will not be
Yeah.
a problem. Okay. Thank you, Prasad. I don't think there is anyone to want to ask, so I'll just wrap it up right here.
Great.
We have 1 hour and 20 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and we will have a nice guest as Prasad for the next meeting. And thank you, Prasad. Have a blessed
Thank you, Vikalu. And it was great speaking to you all. And I'm sure I hope this particular tips that I shared today will come in handy to you guys, and hope you use them in the future. Make sure if you have any doubt, make sure you reach out to me at any time on LinkedIn or through Vikalu or even through my mail. I'll always try to help you as much as I can. Thank you very much, Vikalu, once again.
Okay, okay. I hope we will meet again in another
Yes,
topic.
yes.
So stay tuned, everyone. And I would like to tell everyone to join our Telegram group in Baby, and we will post the record on Telegram group. So uh, make sure to subscribe all of our social media. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you
a
all.
nice
Bye bye.
evening, everyone. Thank you. Bye.